Well, hey, WFG teammates, and welcome to this special edition of the WFG Update. I'm your head of field engagement, Drew McDonald. We are going to run through some exciting things right now happening throughout the company. We appreciate you being on. And later on, of course, the stars of the show today are going to be our incredible field speakers that we're so excited to have on. We have two executive marketing directors and a senior marketing director, Mauricio Bauza, Tanza Christian, and Flora Gabriellen will be joining us. And then for the top of the hour, myself and my co-host will be our Chief Distribution Officer, Wendy Boyd. We want to cover a lot of information today. This is an exciting time right now for WFG. We have incredible momentum coming out of our record-packed convention in Las Vegas earlier this summer, breaking records here in the month of August. And Wendy and I have been up here with our president, Todd Buchanan, and the executive team in Philadelphia doing some strategic planning sessions heading into 2026 and to Q4. So very excited about all the success that we're having as a company today. And that's all a testament to what all of you do each and every day for your clients out in the field. And speaking of that, I want to hit on the personal activity bonus program. Just as a reminder, this is a monthly bonus open to all agents. You see the requirements here to qualify: 10,000 personal agency net points, one personal recruit, and a rolling 3-month personal agency NPR of 75% or greater. You see the bonus payouts there for training agents through MDs with no cap, 10%, and SMD and higher at a 5% bonus up to 1,000. But look at these results just so far, January through August, right? So 8 months of results. Nearly, 8,430 unique qualifiers in the United States, nearly 5,200 in Canada, and a total bonus payout of closing in on $10 million in just 8 months of this year. These are dollars, of course, going to those top producers in the base shop that we want to make sure we reward for protecting families, especially since we are, of course, in Life Insurance Awareness Month. And then I want to give a special shout out to our top personal activity bonus qualifiers throughout the year. You see these superstars listed for both the U.S. and Canada, but look at some of these bonus amounts. Many of the folks have earned well over $10,000 cumulatively across the first 8 months. And our number one in the U.S. with $26,178, Morgan Hatch. And then in Canada, Alahi Peeman with $15,643. Congratulations to all of these bonus qualifiers taking advantage of the personal activity bonus. We want them to keep doing it, keep protecting families, and we want to reward them handsomely just as we have been for doing that. And then we also have the 2025 stock-based cash award program out there that you are in the running for right now. This is open to marketing director all the way up to senior executive vice chairman. The qualification period is a calendar year, January 1 through December 31st, with a 2-tiered qualification system on the table for this year. The brochure and FAQ are out there, but just as a reminder, these are the tier 1 qualifications, right? So if you're a marketing director, you need to achieve a rolling 12 cash flow this calendar year of $50,000 for a target grant award of $750,000, all the way up to a senior executive vice chairman at $1.5 million can get an award of $20,000. And then we have an even higher grade payout at the tier 2 qualifications. Marketing directors can hit a cash flow of $80,000 for a grant of $1,250, all the way up to SCVCs at $2.5 million, getting a grant of $30,000. And this is just another example of the ways that WFG is investing in you, your business, your teammates, and rewarding the folks that are helping us grow. And at the same time, giving those agents that qualify an opportunity to take advantage of the market upside, if you will, of that Aegon stock, since this cash-based stock-based cash award program is tied to that market value of Aegon stock. We had some great recognition that was mailed out to our 2024 Stock-Based Cash Award Program qualifiers, and we thank you for sending in these great social media, footages and photos and videos of the unboxings. We love to see this. There is nothing better than recognizing the hard work of our agents out in the field force, doing what you guys do each and every day. We want to get more of these, so continue to take these photos and videos, send them to us, tag us on social media, and we will highlight that and brag on you as we always do. Another special thing, speaking of honors, I would like to take a moment to recognize a select few agents, 6 of our top leaders, for being named to Forbes' 2025 Top Financial Security Professionals list. So, of course, we've got the great Alec Chan in San Gabriel, California, who ranked number 52 nationally and was designated as number 2 best in state for California, managing $6 billion in policy value. We have Laura Council from Bellevue, Washington, who ranks number 92 overall and is recognized as number 1 best in the state of Washington, managing $2.6 billion in policy value. the great Jan Zwan in Lake Mary, Florida, Jing Ho, Brian Loiso, and Vamshi Alicanti in Elliott City, Maryland. Each were named as best in state for their impressive client portfolios and consistent excellence as well. Let's give a huge WFG virtual shout out and congratulations to all 6 of these leaders who, in my view, represent the best of the best, not only of WFG, but anywhere in the industry, any company doing what's right for their clients, and helping us to not only close the protection gap, but help families save for the future as well. So congratulations to all of you. You make us so proud. And I get to see a lot of these leaders. I see familiar faces that are plugged in with Finseca, that come to our Advanced Markets Conference, that come to the LAMP Conference in the spring. And I know that Finseca and our partnership with them continues to be a catalyst with these top financial security professionals. So if you're not a member of Finseca, that is my quick plug to join Finseca and get around these types of leaders that you can learn from as you grow your business. Trustworthy selling is a big part of the WFG way and our goal to increase agent productivity and make sure that our agents are chinning up to a high standard of professionalism. It's a great training curriculum, and I want to give a shout out to these leaders across the business who have the most agents in their EBC downline consuming that trustworthy selling curriculum, going through the program, completing the modules. We had Arlex Flores, who's been #1 for a while there, still eking out ahead of Daniel Fombo. We had him speak on one of our prior WFG updates about the impact of great training for our agents and making sure that they have the confidence and the skills when they're sitting across the kitchen table with their clients to present the products the right way, to understand buyer and seller psychology, the right questions to ask, to help the client really understand what their needs are, and to increase trust and decrease the tension at the kitchen table, to build confidence both on the advisor side and for the client side as well. So congratulations to these hierarchy leaders for helping us with trustworthy selling adoption. And for those of you that have not looked at it yet, I encourage you to please go out to the MyWFG Training Center, check out these modules and courses, and take a look at them today. We have a goal of getting to 10,000 WFG agents by the end of this year who have completed one or more of the trustworthy selling modules. You don't have to consume the entire curriculum to get value out of it. You don't have to do it in any particular order. You can really go out there a la carte, pick the course that resonates the most with you, complete it, and you'll have some actionable takeaways to implement into your business across the kitchen table with your clients and start getting better each and every day. So again, no cost to you. Trustworthy selling is another investment in your business. This is in partnership with the folks at LIMRA, the Life Insurance Marketing Research Association, and Hoopus Performance Network, HPN. They are some of the industry leaders, and this trustworthy selling curriculum is used by the biggest names throughout the industry. I'm so excited for what this is going to mean for our sales force and for our future as a company in this industry. And then the BMW Championship was the first and the shortest qualification incentive we had coming out of convention just there in the month of July. I want to give a congratulations shout out to our qualifiers who joined us there at the famed Caves Valley Golf Course Resort for this PGA Tour event, part of the FedEx Cup Championship, a huge $10 million purse at the BMW Championship. And you see the red stars there. I actually had an opportunity to spend time with and get to know better our 3 phenomenal field speakers that we've got on WFG Update today at this great event. Tanza Christian there listed at 13th, Mauricio at 22nd, and Flora at 26th. And you see down there at the bottom, I want to call this out, 126% year over year net point growth for the group of 30 qualifiers, and 20 out of the 30 for the BMW Championship had double-digit or greater net points year over year in July. So that just shows you that incentives work when you compete for them and leverage them in your business. Congratulations to all of these qualifiers. And man, what a time was had, right? Shout out to the great Transamerica event team. You see Sarah Layton in there who helped us organize the whole thing and was so great throughout the 2-day event. But some of our qualifiers here in the suites, we had reserved luxury box suiting, food and beverage there inside the air conditioning, and it was warm out, so we were very grateful to have the suite and the air conditioning, I can assure you of that. So it was just a stellar A+ experience there at Caves Valley for the BMW Championship, and always phenomenal to spend time around winners and top producers across the business, because that's not the golf necessarily or the event itself. It's the experience of being around the winners, understanding, cross-pollinating, sharing ideas and best practices, knowing what they're doing to win those things as well, and then taking all that back to your team to level up and elevate. And then congratulations to our 2025 qualifiers for the WFG Tiger School. This is right around the corner at the end of the month, starting September 30th, going through October 2nd at the Hyatt Regency Orlando Airport. Top SMDs and EMDs throughout the entire company who have not qualified for a prior Tiger School event. And we're going to bring them together, pour into them, have some fun. It's all about leadership development. So excited about another great example of an event that we do to invest in our leadership. And we have such a strong track record of prior Tiger School attendees at the SMD and EMD level who have go on to become EVCs, SEVCs, million-dollar earners, multi-million-dollar earners. So this is really a launching pad and an incubator at Tiger School for the future leaders of WFG. And I can't wait to get together with all these folks here in just a few short weeks. Of course, September is the final month of Q3. We announced a lot of Q3 incentives coming out of the convention in Las Vegas. This is one of those, right? Qualifying for Hawaii, you have the opportunity to earn double and even triple points on fixed life and annuity production, including seg funds in Canada. Make sure you are leaving it all on the table and sprinting through the finish line at the end of September to maximize your opportunity and your standings in those Hawaii rankings before the contest period closes out on November 30th. And then, of course, we can't wait to welcome the main trip. Will be at the Sheraton Waikiki, February 21 through 26. That is actually going to be one whole wave, so we'll have a whole group of people together. Normally, we have to split the group up and go across multiple waves. But we're at the Sheraton Waikiki. They have enough space there to accommodate all of us in one wave. And it is newly renovated and looking fantastic, ready to host our group in February. And then, of course, the elite trip, February 26th through March 1st at the Ritz-Carlton Turtle Bay. Excited about that as well. The President's Challenge, also ending September 30th. This is a top leadership event to go to the Atelier Playa Mujeres in Cancun, Mexico in the month of November. The trip dates are November 10th through the 13th. We've got top 7 super team, top 10 super base, top 18 base shop in the U.S., top 3 super team, top 5 super base, top 7 base shop in Canada. The leaderboards continue to be updated as often as we can update them. You see a beautiful picture of the property there. This is an all-inclusive property, more than 20 restaurants and bars on the property. One of them is a Michelin-rated restaurant, just phenomenal, a wide variety of cuisine, and it's just going to be an incredible leadership event. Here are the folks that are currently on track as of August 31st, right, with 1 month remaining. So shout out to these folks. And of course, I know there's going to be a tremendous amount of movement even now between now and the end of September as these names shift around and change. But we look forward to welcoming some of our top leaders throughout the entire company to this. These are the U.S. standings that you see here. So search for your name, search for maybe your upline's name, and help them win if you can. And then in Canada, similarly, we've got some phenomenal leaders here on track to be with us there at the Atelier Playa Mujeres. Going to be another phenomenal example of leadership event and pouring into each other. With that, I want to turn it over to our incredible Chief Distribution Officer, the leader of our business development team, to talk us through some of the carrier incentives and then do some agent recognition around milestones and other things. So, Wendy, appreciate you taking the time to be on with us today.
You bet, Drew. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to all of our achievers. It's amazing. Tanza, Mauricio, Flora, congratulations on qualifying for the BMW Championship. That's pretty awesome, and I'm delighted to be a part of this call with you today. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. I don't talk as fast as Drew because I'm from the South, but I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can so we can get to the highlights. I am no way a replacement of Susan Davies on all these awards, but Susan is in South Korea with the Super Trip right now, where I'm sure many people are planning on going, but we're delighted to have you all with us today. So Drew talked a little bit about some of the WFG incentives. Well, I'm delighted to be the host of an SEC showdown in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my hometown, between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the LSU Tigers. This game will be November the 8th. I'm hopeful it'll be a night game, but the experience that you'll have doing the Walk of Champions, touring the stadium, trolley ride around campus, it's going to be an amazing weekend. So you've got 1 more month to qualify for this. Drew, if you could go to the next, we can see our leaders stabbing for this opportunity right now. If you see your name on this list, congratulations, you're in the lead. And you know what I love? That Salty Dog t-shirt that says, if you're reading this, that means I'm the lead dog. So there's still time for others to catch up. And I would absolutely love hosting you in my hometown of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And then our carriers have tons of incentives for you to take a part of right now through the third quarter. So you've got Allianz, who's got now an annuity premium bonus in place, earning 30 to 50%, just announced on August the 19th. You've got AMS that's got three things kicked into gear. They're doing a $50,000 kickoff EVC bonus that will go towards the EVC's kickoff meeting in December or January of next year. Also, join AMS in New Orleans for their New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay game. There are 12 EVCs that could qualify with their guest to join. And then I love the elite producer programs they have in place. We love swag at WFG. So you can hit certain milestones and get as much of a golf shirt to a pullover to a watch. So it's very exciting to see that. And then you've got Nationwide that's jumped in with a quarterly bonus as well. Pac Life has jumped in with a quarterly bonus based upon life production, along with a blazer for the top producers with Pac Life. And Transamerica is continuing their Thrive in 25 through the third quarter. And then in Canada, all the carriers have jumped in to do a form of bonus for everyone participating. So let's look at our rings. As you can see here, rings and watches are a big incentive opportunity. I just love the fact that 782 agents have qualified for their $50,000 watch and 353 have qualified for the $100,000 ring. My nephew just graduated from college. Can I tell you how hard it is to get a corporate job? And look at these, and they're not paying $100,000. So it's pretty cool to see the momentum that happens right here in our own backyard with $1 million earners, $10 million earners, $7 million earners, $250,000. So congratulations, you're breaking records, and it's awesome to see that entrepreneurial opportunity and achievement within our organization. So let's look at a few top achievers. Congratulations to Divine, Connor, Lucy, Kim, all $250,000 earners, along with Prim, Balber, Michelle. Congratulations. By the way, if you haven't sent your photo in, I'd love to see your shining face on these photos. And then we've got our $500,000 earners, Charles, Jaden, Jackson, Cynthia, and it keeps going. 500,000, Daniel, Stanley, David, congrats. Hadn't seen you in a while, buddy. Johnson, congratulations to our $500,000 earners. Then we got $750,000 earners. Aloysius, Pavit, amazing. Jefferson, congratulations, $1 million earner. So exciting to see that. And we have $2 million earners. Adelo, Teresa, and if I've messed your name up, send me a note, voice it so I can know how to pronounce your name. I apologize if I stung it. More importantly, look at these year-to-date advancements. 467 SMD promotions, 54 EMD promotions, 19 CEO, 9 EVCs, 2 SEVCs. Congratulations. And then if we look at individuals who have earned their promotions to EMD, our very own Flora, who's with us today, congratulations. Cruz, Rebecca, Adewale, congratulations, EMDs. Catherine, Kim, Saban, I love that name. Google, former Alabama football coach, you'll understand. Bahinder, congratulations. And our CEO promotion, Jarrett, way to go, my friend. EVC promotion, next. Sam, awesome job. Congratulations to all of our earners and our promoters. You've done a great job. We appreciate you. We value what you do for families, that we leave no family left behind, and we create and generate entrepreneurial opportunities for individuals in this organization. Congratulations, Drew. I'm going to turn it right back over to you.
Find the unmute button there. Can we pull these slides down? I don't know if I'm sharing these, Vanessa, or if you are. I don't see them sharing on my screen. So there we go. Awesome. Well, hey, great job, Wendy. That was a lot of information. And working out of this Philadelphia Transamerica office is phenomenal space, but they've got super duper technology that I'm not accustomed to, and I couldn't see myself on camera at all. There's multiple monitors in here. It's very high tech, and I'm trying not to break anything. So if I have any technical difficulties, just bear with me, if you will. But you see the Philadelphia skyline there in the background. But lots of great things happening right now. And, part of what makes WFG great, it's the value of connections, networking, leveling up our associations. And, we talked about the fact that all three of our phenomenal field speakers today qualified for and were at the BMW Championship back just a few weeks ago at Caves Valley in Baltimore, Maryland. Had a chance to spend time with them. And that was part of the reason that you all were fresh on my mind as we were looking for field speakers who are not only growing and setting their own records and growing their teams, but also people that I knew would do a phenomenal job kind of just conveying the story of the importance of what we do, Life Insurance Awareness Month, all that good stuff. But talk to us first about, the unique experience and the power of leveraging incentives like the BMW Championship to unleash your own potential, to drive growth in your team and your base shop and explode to that next level of success. What does it mean to you to compete for incentives and be there amongst the winners at something like the BMW Championship? And I'll start with you, Mauricio.
Sure. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. And good afternoon, good morning, WFG. So excited to be here with you. I think about, these incentives aren't just about the rewards. They're about, building a culture that plays to win. So when your team sees you qualifying, it creates belief. And, qualifying for the BMW Championship forced me to level up in all areas, my calendar, my urgency, my leadership. And it wasn't just about competing. It was about, building a new standard. And, I've always said, because it was a kind of a short contest, it was coming out of convention, we learned about it. But, I remember Ed Milet saying this, and I say this sometimes to our guys, you grow from chasing something just outside your comfort zone. And that's where, big breakthroughs actually live. And so, if you want to grow fast, you got to chase every incentive trip that WFG has to offer. We've been to, Hawaii countless times. We haven't missed a Hawaii trip. And it'll just stretch you and you'll attract others who want to play big too. And so it was an amazing time. Again, I play golf. It's not something where I've ever been to one and kind of walk around, especially in that weather. It was really hot and wet hot. I'm in California, so it was a little different. But it was fun to just be around all these leaders, be around all these champions. They say iron sharpens iron. And so it was just an awesome opportunity. And so thanks for the opportunity to be there. It was awesome.
Awesome. Phenomenal. Tanza, what about you? How did it feel to be there with us at Caves Valley?
Hi, everyone. Again, it was absolutely amazing. Qualifying for the BMW Championship was an honor, not just for me, but for my entire team. And what made it extra special is the day that the qualification ended, the following day, we had someone on our team that was promoted to SMD. So it was an amazing opportunity because I had an opportunity to bring him with me as a congratulations gift of qualifying. So he got to experience that firsthand. And now being in a leadership position and seeing what it's like and meeting the team and having conversations with individuals. And I would highly encourage anyone, as Mauricio has said, coming out of SMD, coming out of convention, we're so excited. And I think oftentimes when we start and get into this business, we understand the difference between motivation and commitment and consistency. You're very motivated when you're at convention. Everything sounds great. You're ready to go. The first day, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. I heard enough. But then you get out and you kind of lose that back into the real world. However, but I love that WFG always puts these challenges and incentives in place to help us continue that momentum. So running for these challenges not only builds momentum in your business, but it also shows your team what's possible. And of course, when we like to say within our team, and I'm sure everyone else, is as it relates to leader, you have to lead from the front. You have to give your team something to inspire to, something to chase. And WFG always does that. And it is just a matter of us as leaders as running towards it to create that path for those that's coming behind us. So it was an amazing opportunity. I love golf. I'm an avid golfer myself. And it was definitely one of the things I was able to check off my bucket list to say. So thank you again for the opportunity. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is so cool. And that's awesome that you had a newly promoted SMD that you were able to bring with you and give them a taste of that. Like you said, being around the winners, and iron sharpens iron. That's fantastic. Flora, what about you? I know you actually had a chance to come in a few days early. You guys came all the way from the West Coast. You were with a group of folks, Jack and Kareen among them. And you guys I saw some of the pictures on social media at the Capitol and the different sites around DC. Talk to us about your experience.
Yes, thank you so much, Drew, and thank you, WFG, for this opportunity. Super blessed and grateful first to God for sure, and of course our incredible team. But it was extra special because also my leaders, Jack and Kareen, qualified, so we got to be at the challenge together, which was extra special, spending extra time. I do have a team in Maryland, so my guest was actually one of my marketing directors, Moen, who I got to bring along with me. I was gonna bring my mom, she's my SMD, but she had prior, commitments and she was dying to be there with us, but everything worked out. We got to, go to DC and do all the touristy things. But the best part, I think, about, any competition or any contest that WFG puts out, it just brings the best in you. And in the process, you just help so many more families, which is our mission for sure. I mean, I'm so grateful for our team because obviously we couldn't do this on our own. We had to have our team with us, our base shop for sure. So, but the best part about these contests, and I've been traveling with WFG so many times, I always say this to our team, relationships mean so much more than money. Just to be in the top 30 with the leadership. I went to Tiger School with Dr. V and Susan, and they were there, and we got to pick their brain and all the leaders that were also there. Those are the times that, you literally get to be with the top people, and you ask each other questions, and then you come back, you apply to your business, and then you grow from event to event. And it's so incredible just to see our business grow year after year. It's been incredible. But those associations to me mean so much more. We had so much time, so much fun. And I know Transamerica and WFG invested so much money because we were sitting in front of the 18th hole. We got to see the almost $4 million shot that happened. And I'm like, that's so cool. I've never been a golf fan. I've been a golf fan. I've played basketball for over 20 years. But just to be in that room and just to see how champions think, act, or like the strategy behind them even hitting the ball, it was just analyzing all of that. Like, preparation is everything in business. And it was a great experience. I was so happy to go, and I'm excited for our future, all of us together. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to have all of you there. And, winning never gets old, right? There are certainly perks also of being backed by Transamerica and Aegon when it comes to things like the BMW Championship. And I'm sure they did spend quite a bit of money to be a marquee sponsor there on the 18th green. But winning never gets old. And I always think of, Wendy's favorite coach, Nick Saban. There was an interview they did, and one of those, driving along in a car doing an interview years ago. And they said, do you ever get tired? And Nick Saban says, of what? All the winning? Right. And it's kind of like that in WFG, right? You just can't get tired of winning. Even if you get tired of the work that comes behind the winning, you definitely don't get tired of the result, right? So let's switch gears now, though, and talk about Life Insurance Awareness Month, right? I know we talked a little bit in the pre-production of some of the incentives and campaigns that you all are doing as leaders with your own teams around Life Insurance Awareness Month. I've seen a lot of coverage out on social media, both on the corporate side and on our sales force. But just going out to our public worldfinancialgroup.com website earlier today, there were some stats out there that resonated with me. It said that 42% of American adults say they need more life insurance, right? So Americans themselves understand they need more life insurance coverage. 56% of households under $50,000 a year in income have a need, right? And that always reminds me, it's not just what we do. There's a lot of companies that sell life insurance protection, but it's not just what we do. It's who we do it for, right? It's who we do it for in the middle market. WFG is uniquely positioned to help close the gap that is an industry-wide problem, but specifically in that middle market, or who are the folks that, in my opinion, need it most. And then another stat out on our website, 102 million Americans have a life insurance gap, right? There's never been a greater need for what we do. And we always say no family left behind. To me, that can't just be a marketing slogan. It's got to be something that we eat, sleep, and breathe as a company, as a team, as agents. And I know that we do that, right? Families in the middle market are counting on WFG like never before. We all know that what we do matters, but it's also very personal, right? For you all specifically as agents and leaders building teams, I know that you all have delivered death claims, right? You've had your own personal experience with not only clients, but other people in your office that have been through things. So I want to go around the horn here and talk to each of you in your own words about, what does it mean to you to be part of a profession, part of an industry, but most of all, part of a company in World Financial Group that's closing the critical need of life protection for middle American families and standing in that protection gap. Tanza, let's start with you.
Awesome. Wow. Life insurance for me is huge. And I think about my first introduction to life insurance, being raised in the South. And my first understanding and introduction to life insurance was my grandmother. One of the things I could say is my grandmother always believed in life insurance, but she never trusts banks, right? She would hide money on the mattresses, socks, and anywhere she could, but she always believed in life insurance. And as soon as a grandchild was born, she had this huge Bible and she would write all of the grandkids' names, birthdays, socials in the Bibles. Maybe some of you guys can relate to that, but growing up in the South, that's what it was like for me. And on the first of every month, my grandmother would make sure, I don't care how much her check was, that she left money outside of her door for the insurance man to come and pick up. And she made sure that that insurance premium was paid, no matter what. But see, my understanding and my introduction to life insurance, I saw the importance. And even if she had to pay half on a bill, she was not going to miss that life insurance payment. But the problem within our community, and I'm talking the Black community especially, is that we're underinsured. My grandmother had had this policy for 50, 60 years, but it was only $5,000, right? So it wasn't enough to cover anything. And I want to say, and what I've learned and being a part of WFG, and the reason why I became a part of WFG is because so that I can educate my family. I feel as if I can educate people past what I don't know as a parent. And first, I had to be honest and realistic with myself and understood my deficiencies, even though degrees in school doesn't really teach us about finances, but it doesn't really teach us about proper protection as well. But knowing what I know, and because of this amazing platform, life insurance is the number one accessible and easiest way to pass and build generational wealth. So many times we look at life insurance as a funeral fund, but life insurance, we need to reframe our verbiage within our community and start looking at it as a wealth building fund. And also too, it has shifted my mindset from passing on struggle to stability. And the easiest way, again, to do that is with life insurance. So when I first got licensed, and as a mom of 5 amazing kids, I wanted to make sure that I was positioning my kids to have something that outlived me. And the only way for, and most important, pass down to them. I couldn't pass my degrees down to them. I can't, if my house is not properly protected in trust and proper asset planning, I wouldn't be able to pass that down to them as well. So as a WFG agent, we have to bring it back to the core. And the core is, number one, is educating individuals. There's a lot that we don't know, but also to understanding where people are. But most importantly, that everybody wants to protect their family. Everybody wants to be able to leave a legacy, but we don't necessarily know how to do that. But with the education, with this amazing platform, we're able to pass down legacy, dignity, and honor through these wealth building tools and education to families in our community. And that's what I love about being an agent on WFG, being a mom, to know that I have a peace of mind to make sure that my family is taken care of in generations to come.
That is phenomenal. I love that. I took a bunch of notes here. Just a few of the things that I got jotted down, and if I can read my own chicken scratch here, but it's not just about having protection, but it's about, there's so many people that are underinsured, right? It's about having the proper amount of protection. So often we encounter clients that maybe they've got a policy and they think they're good, but when you dig a little deeper, you realize they're barely scraping by, and they've got the protection they think they can afford, not what they truly need, right? Not a funeral fund. It's about generational wealth and going from struggle to stability. It's about financial literacy, education, and leaving a legacy. Tanza, I love all of that. Thank you so much. Flora, let's go to you next. What does it mean to be a part of the industry, part of WFG and Life Insurance Awareness Month?
Yes, thank you, Drew. First of all, I would say one of the main reasons why I even started in this business is I lost my aunt to breast cancer a long time ago. And I wish someone had talked to our family about some of these protections, because maybe if she had the right protection, she would have got the proper care and she would have been here with us. I truly believe when you do have money, you have choices to see the best of the best doctors. But when you don't have money, you really don't have choices. And it goes a long way to show that, she was like a second mother to me. And, I didn't come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family will definitely come from me. And I love what we do, our mission. I mean, it's one of the things that I say that this business gives you so much more than just money, right? You grow so much spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, of course, financially. But I always tell my team, I'm like, listen, when we sit across a family and we get to help them out, we make a couple $1,000s, but that family's assets just went up $500,000 to $1 million average, right? Who benefited more? And I think the biggest injustice right now that I see is there isn't much awareness. So if WFG agents aren't going out there and talking to families, nobody else is doing this, right? And I truly love what we do. It's a big passion of mine. I always say mission before commission. It's so true. We always want to do the right thing for people. We're not just out here just selling policies to make money. We're changing people's lives one story after the next. That's why I love our team name, the Story Makers, because it's so true. There's so many claims me, my mom, our team have paid out, our leaders have paid out. We'll talk more about that. But, it's so crazy to me that people think that this is just another expense. We're like, no, this is a love insurance that you leave behind for your family. So when you're no longer here, your family, could continue the legacy that you worked so hard to build, like all of your assets. And on top of that, we all have to come to a realization that, when you have money and you're not putting it in the proper places, like it's not doing anything for your family. Like I think most people's priorities are also messed up. They're spending money on things that don't matter versus protecting their family, which to me is the biggest asset that you could do. So I love what we do. I love our company. I love what we stand for. I love the loyalty, the honesty that we have amongst the field. And I'm here to do something big with my life, but also change as many people's lives along the way. So thank you so much.
Man, I love it. I'm fired up just listening to both of you. The passion, the energy, just the sincerity that comes through here in both you and Tanza speak. It really resonates with me. And I took a bunch of notes here. You talked about losing your aunt to breast cancer, how it's personal for you. I love mission before commission. I'm definitely going to steal that from you for the future. Changing people's lives one story after the next. You talked about your team name, the Storytellers. Not life insurance, but love insurance, right? I've heard life insurance referred to as the last love letter you ever get to leave your beneficiaries, your heirs, your family. And man, that is the truth, right? So thank you for all that you continue to do and through your team that you're building. Phenomenal organization, Flora. We appreciate you as well. And I just love the pride, not only for your team, but in WFG and being a part of this industry, you and Tanza as well. So with that, Mauricio, let's go to you, man.
Awesome. Thanks. This month is a big month for me. So my introduction into life insurance was sitting in an overview. It didn't really dawn on me. My dad passed when I was 17 years old in a car accident. And I remember everything about it. I remember, the police officer coming to the door, me answering the door, calling my mom to come to the door. I remember all that stuff. And when I came to an overview, I remember sitting in the overview and just looking up at it. And I said, man, I pray these guys are telling the truth, because where was this kind of stuff, when my family needed it? We're first generation. My mom was from Brazil. My dad's from Argentina. We weren't taught this stuff. And, like Tanza's grandmother, my dad kept money underneath the bed in a shoebox, didn't trust banks. He had something in place. And I remember my mom kind of struggling to figure it out, but he had accidental death and dismemberment life insurance. And what happened is, if anybody's familiar in Southern California, there's a Los Angeles Crest Highway, and it takes you from the 2 all the way up to Palmdale. We lived in Palmdale, California at the time. My dad had one friend from Argentina that was visiting, and he only had one friend in life. He was kind of one of those guys. And so he went to go visit this friend. He was on his way up, and he went off the embankment, went all the way down. A helicopter came down to bring him up, and he was actually alive. And then he got into cardiac arrest and passed away. And so because he had a heart attack, even though the car accident was the reason he had a heart attack, the policy did not pay out. And so I remember thinking, like, where was this kind of stuff? So to me, Life Insurance Awareness Month is about urgency. We're not just talking about protection. We're out here fighting to close the gap, that affects millions. And so no family should lose a loved one and lose everything financially too. I remember we had to change our house. We had to change communities. We lost it all. And it's because the industry we're a part of overlooked my family. And so, we're here to make sure dignity stays intact, even during a tragedy. And so, we're not just agents, we're advocates. Every appointment is a chance to protect a legacy. And I want to echo what Flora said. They say you could either come from a wealthy family or a wealthy family can come from you. And so again, we didn't have much, but definitely want to make sure, that we leave a legacy. And so, again, as soon as my son was born, we got a life insurance program. As soon as my daughter was born, we got a life insurance program. It's definitely something that we want to make sure everybody is aware of. And again, like Tanza said, it's just changing the way people look at life insurance. It's not just a way, to pay for final expenses. It can do much more than that. And then even with Transamerica's product, having the living benefits for chronic illness, critical illness, terminal illness. We never knew life insurance to be something we could use as an insured. We always knew it to be something that our beneficiaries could get, when we pass away. But knowing that if we were ever chronically ill or critically ill, that we could access up to 90% of the death benefits, a huge deal, even on the term side of things. And so I always tell people, we should sit down with somebody. We should never walk away, even if it's just that $30 policy or even just that $40 policy. Again, you got to make sure you do something for that family. You never want to think about how, if you hear about a story of somebody you sat down with and you didn't do your best to at least put something in place for that family, you don't ever want to sit there and have regret. And so we talk about that a lot. And, we're just, this is a big month for us. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Mauricio. I appreciate that. And I took a bunch of notes here again. You talked about, Life Insurance Awareness Month is really about urgency. You told that incredibly touching story about your dad passing away in the car accident. I've got here, no family should lose a loved one and have to deal with the financial fallout at the same time. We can allow dignity to stay intact for the families we serve, not just agents, but also advocates. Let's make sure we have no regrets. All of that's very powerful and really resonates. I want to go back around the horn in the same order that we started in, and now ask each of you to share with us some customer testimonials, some examples of death claims you've delivered, or just any story that's really personally touching and resonates with you from your career in this industry, and talk to us about that. Tanza, let's go to you first.
Awesome. Well, I have not had to deliver a death claim yet. But however, I've had to file several claims as it relates to critical chronic terminal illness. Cancer, of course, is one of the major things. I had a client, actually, when I first got started in the business. So I'll take that back. Let me back up. I delivered one death claim. And I will share that story. I had to think back because it was actually during my training. So, and I want to say too, if there's any new agents on the call, when your mentor asks you to do field training, don't overlook that as not an opportunity for you to protect a family. Yes, you're learning, but that was my very first death claim I ever delivered, was from my very first field training appointment with my mentor. And it was a coworker. And one night while working in the ICU, she was talking. She says, hey, I was like, hey, do you have any life insurance outside of the job? She says, no, I just have something on the job and on myself. But my husband doesn't have anything, but he doesn't need anything because he doesn't work. He's just at home, and we don't need any coverage on him. And I had to remind her, I said, you're only able to do what you're doing because he's taking care of the home, and you still have 2 children at home that you're financially responsible for. So you're working pretty much 2 full-time jobs right now. So if your husband wasn't at home, maintaining the home, taking care of the kids, doing all of those things, that will be a huge gap. So financially, he may not be bringing in, but the support that he's providing for you to do what you're doing is huge. And she says, I never even thought about that. And I also want to encourage anybody on the call that's new. A lot of times when you're new, you are afraid to have these conversations because you're worried about saying the right thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with saying the right thing. All you have to do is continue to speak from the heart and come from a place of compassion and care, and that will resonate with individual. So you don't need to have the right words. You just need to have the right intentions. And as long as your intentions are right, people are going to see that and they're going to be able to sit down with you. So don't worry about saying the right thing, and don't try to compare yourself to somebody's chapter, 15, and you're on page number 1. Anyway, that was a freebie. But so we met with my coworker, who's a really, really good dear friend of mine, and her husband passed away. And that, again, was my very first claim. And she called. Of course, I didn't know what to do. And this is, again, why we're in this business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. So, of course, I didn't know what to do. I called my mentor. He took over right away. She walked me through the process, walked me through what to do. We went to the funeral home, delivered the claim. That policy allowed her the ability to be able to drop down. She was working, like I said, 2 full-time jobs. She was able to drop down to 1 job. We were able to use a portion of that, invested into a fixed index annuity. She was able to fund both of her kids' college from that plan. And both of them, her daughters are now nurses and married, and she's a grandmother and doing well. And she was also able to take the well-rested and needed time off. A lot of times when we think about death, and again, which is why life insurance is so important, as Mauricio mentioned, we don't really put enough emphasis on the critical, chronic, and terminal illness. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I personally believe that because his body he didn't allow his body the appropriate time to rest, his cancer returned, and it returned more aggressively. He had cancer, was in remission for 3 years, but he worked the entire time because he could not take off. He could not take the time off. He could not afford to lose his benefits. So his cancer returned, but this time it had metastasized to his lungs, his kidneys, and he had 3 brain tumors. After that diagnosis, my father passed away within 3 months. And which is another reason why policy reviews are so important. If your client tells you they have a policy, you don't have to be pushy, you just have to be compassionate. Nobody looked at my father's life insurance, even though he had it. Come to find out, there was no beneficiary listed on there. There was the address and everything was changed. So unfortunately, even though my father passed away, we didn't collect anything because his affairs were not in order. So don't omit the things that does not immediately give a financial return. Make sure you're taking the time and you're doing what's best for your clients. And those are what your clients is going to remember and generate. And your clients is going to remember in generations to come. So thank you so much, Drew. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so much for the entire WFG Field team for allowing me to share.
That is awesome. Thank you, Tanza. I took a bunch of notes here in no particular order. You talked about doing a policy review matters, right? It may not always result in a commission, but again, it's about the mission, not just commissions. You don't have to be pushy, just compassionate. It's not about saying the right thing. I totally agree with this. There's so many agents that are afraid if they don't have answers to every question, if they don't have the exact script down, then they just won't say anything to somebody, right? But it's not about saying the right thing. It's about having the right intentions. And if you speak from the heart, your clients or prospective clients will see that, will do business with you. The terminal illness, the CI benefit are very important. Love all of that. And also you talked about the importance of field training appointments and how you may not take those as seriously when you're going through your field training, but they can matter too and to come full circle for you in your career. Thank you for sharing those stories from your heart. That really means a lot. Flora, let's go to you next.
Yes, thank you so much. Before I share my story, I just want to quickly shout out one of our own leaders who passed away during convention, Raul. He was definitely someone I was very close to. We actually went to high school together. So I definitely want to shout out him and his team Elevate. Definitely deep in our hearts. We lost a great leader. And again, I'm sure he did the best as far as protection goes for his family. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But there's 2 specific stories that I want to share. One of them is, sometimes you don't do phone calls for yourself. But when you're on a team run, we were on an EBC run for Jack and Kareen and back in 2018, and you're scared to call the successful people. You're not wanting to, you feel like you're bothering them. So we made a phone call, me and my mom, to one of her colleagues back in 2018. She came in, she got a term policy, but because she was older, she was paying about $1,500 a month. She paid, I think, about 5 to 6 years into the policy, and she got diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. We filed the, and again, you do more for your leaders than you do for yourself. Jack definitely helped us with this one for sure, but we filed a claim. Transamerica ended up paying her on a critical illness over $1 million. She took that money. She went to a different part of the world. She got cured. She took time off from work. She came back cancer free. But what would have happened to her if she did not have this plan, right? And she kept telling me and my mom, what can I do for you guys? I'm so grateful for everything you guys have done for us. Da, da, da. And we're like, you love what we do. Please just share with people so we could go out there and help more people. But the sad part about this story is she did not want to share with anybody that she even got paid out, which is the sad part, because in our community, I get this a lot where they're like, oh, we heard, you got sick and certain carrier didn't pay out. I'm like, if a carrier did not pay out, that means congratulations, you weren't really sick, right? But if you're really sick, you're going to get paid out. And this was a claim that, over $1 million, overnight, they became a millionaire. She got the best cure. She's still living. She bought a business. She remodeled her home. And she's doing amazing. But this is, a story that I want to share with people, especially new people. When you come in, you hear all this noise that claims don't get paid out or etc. It's not true. If you're really sick, they will pay out, right? And another story I want to share, again, around 2000, I started May of 2017, just on a referral basis. I wasn't really serious about the business. I had my own restaurant. I was mostly on referrals. And I did a lot of field trainings with my mom. She was my SMD, and of course, my leaders. And one day I'm supposed to go on an appointment, and my mom's supposed to meet me at this appointment. And she kind of tricked me, and she never showed up to the appointment. So this was like my first field training I'm doing alone. And I'm super nervous. This family is like married with children. Right. And I'm like, I can't influence. I'm a single young person. I don't know how I'm going to get through this appointment. And I had a trainee, so it wasn't a personal appointment. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this appointment. And, when you're new, you don't really know much. You try to do the best you can. I ended up spending over 3 hours at this couple's house. We wrote policies for the family. They had twin boys at that time. I think they were about 3 or 4 years old, not old at all. Couple months ago, car accident happened, and one of the twin boys ended up passing away. Right, the moms in our team licensed. Obviously, she wasn't the one driving, but one of the twin boys ended up passing away, and this was a death claim. Obviously, I remember the dad even telling me, like, I don't want to get life insurance on my kids. Like, I don't want to benefit from them. I'm like, well, you could use it for education. You could use it for so many different things. You don't have to look at it as just a life insurance policy. But, who would have thought a 12-year-old boy would pass away? And it's such a sad story for our team because, again, the mom's licensed in our team. She took that money. She's in Armenia right now with the kid, trying to get him some mental help. Obviously, the other twin's not doing as good. But honestly, when we say no family left behind, it's true. Be more courageous, go out there, talk to more families. Everybody needs our help today. You don't know what's coming your way, right? It's not if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. And the last one I really want to talk about, I hate that I have to even talk about this one, but I really want to share it. Growing up, I have a real brother, and I also had one brother that wasn't a real brother to me. And when we started this business, he got a plan just to support my business. He wasn't, young, and they went to a July 4th party. He ended up, jumping in the pool, missing, and passing away. And that was a death claim we had to deliver to our own family. But the power of WFG isn't claim. Our whole family got to take 2-3 months off of not working in WFG, and our team stepped up. And during that time, we got paid so much money. We got to be around the loved ones that they needed us at that time. So that time freedom is so important. And we got to really grieve with our family and really be there. He was like a real brother to me. So, Obviously, again, we lost a great one. He was an incredible soul, but I'm so happy we got to protect him, and the family didn't have to worry about, financially burying their own child was, I think, enough trouble, but financially everything was taken care of because I got to help him as a client of mine. So thank you so much.
Wow. So sorry for your loss, Flora, but what an impactful story and another example of what we have the opportunity to do. I took a ton of notes there, but I know we're also coming up on time. I want to make sure we give Mauricio a chance to share with us from his heart, because I know he has his own personal testimonials. Mauricio, let's go to you to wrap us up here, man.
Yeah, thank you. Gosh, if you can't get how important this month is, or just how important what we do is, I don't know what to tell you. Outside of the financial stuff, the gain that we experience being associates, and then of course what we can do from a financial side is just as important. But the life insurance side of things is so important. So my first, experience in delivering a death claim was an actual teammate. The only life insurance death claims I've paid were, unfortunately, were teammates. So I've only paid 3. Been in the business now, 19 years in the business. So if you're a client of mine, we're doing good. But 3 of them. And the most important one was the first one, because the business went from my head to my heart. And it was a teammate. I'll never forget her. Her name was Patty Notley. She was a referral, came on board. She was an older gal. Her and her husband were in real estate initially, got started in our business, and just did something to qualify to get into fast start school. Really, it was something where she said, I want to get into fast start school. I know that I should do a personal financial needs analysis, and I want to be a client. I want to be able to sit across a kitchen table, tell people that what we're doing is important, but I don't feel like I can tell them to do something I'm not doing myself. And so if you could just give me something. And I looked at, what she could put away. And we ended up doing a $500,000 life insurance program for her. And, 6 months after being in the business, she passed away. And I remember bringing that check, to that family. And when everybody else was bringing flowers, we bought a check. And I thought how important what we do is. And so that was the first one. The second one became a really good friend of mine. His name was Todd Brown. Todd Brown was somebody, when we opened our office in Pasadena, he was one of the people that started in that office with us. And Todd Brown was a teacher, and he wanted to just do something else to help. He knew, what he told me was, I know that what we do in the classroom is important, but everything starts in the home. And I said, that's right. I said, you got the right mindset. You got the right, headspace in terms of what we do. And so he got cancer, and terminal cancer. And I remember sitting down with his wife, Jennifer, going through everything. And a good thing he sat down with us, and we were able to pay out $1 million, to him and his family. And just recently, we had a teammate passed away 2 days ago. And so it's, it's kind of still in the works. And so, but yeah, so if it wasn't for us, again, who would have sat down with these people? And I just think about what we do is so important. And so, this is the last stretch of the year, and, it's where we separate as champions, right? And so the mission doesn't slow down, and neither should we. Families still need us, so let's run through the tape, right? Let's run through the finish line. Let's have a great rest of 2025. And so I appreciate everybody that's been on this call, and I appreciate you guys hosting it. And thank you all so much for what you shared.
Hey, thank you, Mauricio. That's fantastic. And I want to thank all 3 of you from the bottom of my heart for taking time today to be on with us, to pour into your teammates out there. I know we have well over 1,000 folks that are plugging into this. We'll take this recording, we'll get it posted. I know we always have thousands of people that watch it after the fact. But this has just been such a phenomenal reminder of the impact. And this is just 3 phenomenal leaders that are examples. There's thousands more like you out there, right? Each of you are unique in your own ways, but just example, we could do this every single day. We could have different people come on and share these types of things from their heart, and remind us how important what we do is at WFG. But, tomorrow is not guaranteed. It's not a matter of if, but when. Families are counting on us. They're counting on each of you out there watching this. Let's make sure, like Mauricio said, that we sprint through the tape. We leave it all on the field, not only in Q3, but as we close out 2025 with a strong fourth quarter. We have record momentum coming out of convention. We need to capitalize on that momentum because it's precious. And the thing that excites me most, it's not about the numbers on the scoreboard, but the families behind those numbers, right? That we protect each and every day. Let's embrace that. Let's be proud of it in Life Insurance Awareness Month and in every other month throughout the calendar year. Our next WFG Live will be on location in Orlando at Tiger School, September 30th. We'll have the exact time coming out here soon, but please mark your calendar for that. And also some other upcoming events. I want to make sure you are on your calendars, not only Tiger School, but TFA Exchange, October 20th through the 22nd in Vegas. Of course, the President's Challenge we talked about, and then the EVC kickoff meeting, January 15th and 16th in the Dallas area at the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center. Of course, we've got the Hawaii dates, and we are working on dates, hopefully for first and second week of May for both the U.S. and Canada S&D Academy in the spring of 26. Once we have contracts signed, those dates will be announced alongside the competition period for S&D Academy. So thank you so much to all of you for being on. Thank you to our incredible field speakers, to my co-host, Wendy Boyd. As always, your head of field engagement, Drew McDonald. So proud to work with each and every one of you and to be your teammate. Thank you for attending. We'll see you guys next time. Proud of you and everything you do each and every day.